Ever wondered how the wealthy keep their assets safe and invisible? Well, let's dive into this fascinating world of asset protection. It's not about being a sly fox, but rather, it's about being a wise owl. Imagine asset protection as your financial armor, a shield that prevents your hard-earned wealth from being unjustly taken away. It's a defensive strategy that keeps your assets safe, secure, and most importantly, out of the public eye. So why would someone want to remove their name from their assets? The reasons are as diverse as the people who employ them. First, we have the aspect of privacy. In the age of the internet, when nearly everything is just a click away, keeping your financial affairs private is like finding a needle in a haystack. Removing your name from your assets is a way to maintain that privacy, to keep your financial affairs away from prying eyes. Next, we have risk mitigation. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. One day you could be sipping a pina colada on a beach, and the next you could be facing a lawsuit that could potentially drain your savings. By disconnecting your name from your assets, you're strategically placing a barrier between your wealth and potential creditors. Lastly, there's asset safeguarding. Consider this. Your assets aren't just numbers in a bank account. They are your home, your car, your investments, your children's future. Removing your name from these assets is a way of ensuring they remain yours and only yours, no matter what life throws at you. So, when we talk about making your assets invisible, it's not about cloaking them in secrecy or evading responsibilities. It's about safeguarding what's rightfully yours and ensuring your wealth remains your wealth. Making your assets invisible isn't about hiding. It's about intelligent protection. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the legal framework surrounding asset protection in our next segment. Diving into the world of asset protection requires understanding the legal framework. So let's take a moment to understand this legal framework. The first thing to remember is that making personal assets invisible is not some shady business operation. In fact, it's entirely legal when done properly and ethically. This isn't about hiding your wealth or evading taxes, but rather about protecting what you've worked hard to achieve. Now, the legal framework for asset protection revolves around a fundamental principle: fairness. The law recognizes your right to protect your assets, but it also safeguards the interests of others, such as creditors or claimants. It's a delicate balancing act, where the law must ensure a level playing field for all parties involved. This means that while you can take steps to make your assets invisible, these steps must be legal, ethical, and transparent. This involves working within the boundaries of laws such as the Fraudulent Transfer Act, the Bankruptcy Code, and various state laws. Let's be clear here. Any attempts to defraud creditors, evade taxes, or engage in other illegal activities through asset protection strategies will not only fail, but could also land you in serious legal trouble. This could range from hefty fines to even imprisonment. It's crucial to remember that the legal framework for asset protection is complex and varies from one jurisdiction to another. What's legal and ethical in one state might not be so in another. That's why it's always advisable to seek professional guidance when setting up asset protection strategies. Importantly, this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. The right asset protection strategy for you will depend on various factors like your financial situation, your risk profile, your long-term goals, and more. It's about creating a custom-fit armor for your wealth, not a cloak of invisibility. And finally, let's remember why we're doing this. The goal here isn't to become a master of financial deception. It's about securing your financial future, ensuring that your hard-earned wealth is protected against unforeseen circumstances. Remember, the goal is ethical and legal protection of your assets. There are several methods to make your assets invisible and safe. And no, we're not talking about cloaking devices or invisibility cloaks from science fiction or fantasy. This is about asset protection, a legal and practical strategy to safeguard your wealth. Let's dive into the various methods of asset protection. Each method, like a unique tool in a toolbox, serves a different purpose and offers distinct advantages. Firstly, we have trusts. Trusts are legal arrangements where you transfer your assets to a trustee. This trustee, often a trusted individual or corporation, then manages these assets for the benefit of your chosen beneficiaries. The beauty of trusts is that the assets held within them aren't considered your personal assets. Thus, they are protected from lawsuits and creditors. It's like having a secure vault for your wealth. Next, we come to limited liability companies, or LLCs. An LLC separates your personal assets from your business assets. In the unfortunate event of a business failure or lawsuit, your personal assets remain untouched. It's like having a protective shield around your personal wealth while you navigate the battlefield of business. Lastly, let's talk about insurance. This is a method often overlooked in asset protection strategies, yet it's one of the most effective. Insurance policies can protect your assets from a variety of risks. From car accidents to malpractice lawsuits, it's akin to having a safety net to catch you when things go awry. All these methods, trusts, LLCs, and insurance, form the trifecta of asset protection. Each has its own pros and cons, and each serves a different purpose. The key is to understand how they work and to use them strategically to protect your wealth. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Your asset protection strategy should be as unique as you are. It should reflect your personal circumstances, your goals, and your tolerance for risk. Choosing the right method depends on your personal circumstances and goals. So, take your time, do your research, and if need be, seek professional advice. After all, protecting your wealth is about securing your future. Removing your name from your assets isn't as daunting as it sounds. Quite the contrary. It's a series of steps that, when followed diligently, can lead you to a place of financial peace and security. Let's break it down. First off, you'll want to consult a professional. This could be a lawyer or a financial advisor who specializes in asset protection. They'll be able to take a comprehensive look at your financial situation and guide you through the process. Keep in mind that each person's circumstances are unique, so there's no one-size-fits-all approach here. Once you've got a trusted advisor by your side, it's time to decide on the right method of asset protection. There are several routes you could take. You could establish a trust, create a limited liability company, or even set up a family limited partnership. Each of these methods has different benefits and drawbacks. Your advisor will help you weigh these options and select the one that best aligns with your goals. Next comes the process of transfer. This is where the magic happens, so to speak. It's when your assets, your home, your car, your investments, officially become invisible. The transfer process involves legally moving your assets into the name of the entity you've chosen, be it a trust, an LLC, or a partnership. This step can be intricate and requires keen attention to detail. You'll need to fill out paperwork, submit it to the appropriate authorities, and wait for the transfer to be approved. Here's a pro tip. Remember to keep meticulous records. Each step of the transfer process should be documented. This is crucial not only for your own records, but also in case you ever need to prove the legitimacy of the transfer. And voila, you've successfully navigated the process of removing your name from your assets. It's not an overnight task, and it's certainly not a job for the faint of heart. But as with most things in life, the effort you put in is directly proportional to the benefits you'll reap. While it may seem complex, with the right guidance, it's a straightforward process. And now that you're armed with this knowledge, you're one step closer to achieving financial invisibility. Scene script? Like any financial decision, removing your name from assets comes with risks and rewards. Let's start with the risks. First, there are legal complications. When you remove your name from your assets, you are entering a legal gray area. It's not inherently illegal, but it does open you up to scrutiny. Authorities may question why you're making your assets invisible. If you're not careful and transparent about your motivations, you could find yourself in a sticky situation. The second risk is potential misuse. When you remove your name from your assets, you often hand over control to a trustee or a company. But remember, not every trustee or company has your best interests at heart. There's a risk that they could mismanage your assets or, in worst-case scenarios, even abscond with them. It's crucial to ensure you trust the entity you're handing over control to. Now let's shift gears to the rewards, because they are significant. The first reward is improved privacy. In this digital age, privacy is a precious commodity. Removing your name from your assets can shield you from prying eyes, protecting your personal and financial information. The second reward is risk mitigation. By making your assets invisible, you're effectively taking them off the table in any potential lawsuits or claims. Your assets are safeguarded and your personal risk is minimized. Lastly, safeguarding of assets is a key reward. This strategy can protect your assets from creditors, lawsuits, and even divorce proceedings. It's a way of ensuring that your hard-earned assets remain yours, no matter what happens. But remember, every coin has two sides. Just as there are rewards, risks are also a part of the package. It's all about balance. Weighing up the risks against the rewards, considering your personal circumstances, and making an informed decision is the key. Understanding the risks and rewards empowers you to make informed decisions about your asset protection. So, take your time, do your research, and make the decision that's right for you. It's your assets, your privacy, and your future we're talking about here.